did you ever think what it would be like traveling along in an open car without a windshield? Boy, you wouldn't go very far before you got all splattered with mud. And you'd have to keep your eyes closed so as not to be blinded by the dust. Well, when you're traveling along in life, Rangers, common sense acts as a pretty important windshield. It lets you see where you're going.
I am the greatest.
Leading with lineage.
California Reparations Task Force hearings.
Final report recommendations.
California Freedmen Affairs Agency, CAFA office.
The Fund for Reparations and Reparative Justice.
Free the land, eminent domain, unjust property taking return.
The Mass Media Group was there. Reparations Now, the documentary where it all began.
Released Juneteenth, 2023.
Now listen, if you can't handle the TR rules, don't tune in.
Available to watch on Tubi TV and other streaming outlets. As always, thank you for the support. Please like, share, and subscribe to your #1 source for reparations and news. Until next time, peace and reparations. All right, family, we are here. A lot is going on. So this is Road to Reparations, our 25th Road to Reparations community show of the CLBC Betrayal. My name is Umoya.
And I am Kim with the Mend.
And we are back. Thank you, Kim. It's been a while since you've been on to the platform. So what's going on in Kim's world?
Yeah. I've been running, as you all may know that watch this show, as we had, important reparations legislation moving through the legislative cycle for this year that we're currently in. That legislative cycle ended on August the 31st, which was the last day for the bills that we were tracking to be brought up for vote. SB 1403 to create the CAFA office and SB 1331 to create a mechanism, and both bills failed to be brought to the floor by the CLBC. Like I said, if you are familiar with this channel and watch this channel, you already know that. And it's been big news in the social media streets as well.
Absolutely. I know we have a lot to get into today, so let's go ahead and do some housekeeping and let's get into it.
All right. As you know, we've been tracking this movement, this reparations movement from the beginning. Reparations Now, the documentary, gives you some background on the task force being created, some of the testimony that was provided, and that is available streaming on Tubi TV.
Also, go to etnmediagroupstore.com, etnmediagroupstore.com to get your latest merch. You can click that link. Should be available in the description of this video below.
And as always, another way to support ETM Media Group is to do something that you do anyway. Shop on Amazon. If you click our Amazon ETM affiliate link prior to doing all your Amazon shopping, that is one way that you can support our efforts to advocate for reparations.
All right, I know definitely we need to get back to this. I know some of our viewers and some other people have been like, hey, when you guys going to get back to this? So we have a lot going on. We might actually have to table this until we get through the election period in November. But if we can get to this, we definitely want to get back to this. And shout out to Sharice and Friday for helping out with this read. Greatly appreciate it. This is the 1866 Reconstruction Treaties between the United States and the Oklahoma tribes.
And guess who joined us in the building is Miss Darlene, just in time for
surprise.
Surprise, surprise. You know that call, Kim, that call I've been waiting on? Of course, it came 5 minutes before 2 o'clock.
All right, as long as the work is happening.
It was work related. I wasn't playing. I was still working. I had my fun the other night. I was still trying to do the work.
Well, your ears must have been burning because you are just in time to tell us what this slide means and what it would have meant for us on Saturday, August 31st.
You know what I was going to ask you guys, but you're going to show this anyway. Saturday by midnight, we would have needed 41 assembly members to vote for our bills. We already received 21 from the senators, and then that vote of those bills would have landed our two reparations bill, SB 1403, SB 1331, on the governor's desk. But since the CLBC, the California Legislative Black Caucus, refused to even bring it up for a vote, the bills have died.
Yes, so, for now. They're dormant. For now.
They're asleep. They're asleep. We got to wake them up. Sleeping giants.
Yeah, wake it up. So thank you for explaining that, because, people in the news may be hearing, oh, we have the votes, give us the votes. So that explains what vote we were wanting.
And we didn't even get, our democratic process was rendered null and void. We didn't even get the votes. Not only that, they wouldn't allow us. I guess we're going to talk about this later. We weren't even allowed up in the chambers. So it's just a lot going on.
Constitutional rights may have been violated during this whole process. All right. All right. So let's see who the culprits are.
All right. Should we? I think we can come back to this.
Oh, you want to come back to that? Where
let's come back to this. Let's go to, I guess, some videos.
Oh,
and then we'll come back to this as we move forward. As a matter of fact, after we played the video, then let's talk about actually 1840 as well. That was the bill that was supposed to give supposedly undocumented people to be eligible to receive loans here in California, but we'll get back to that one. So let's go.
Can I say this quickly about that, Kim? Are you going to give us your theory, or are you just going to leave that alone? You have a very interesting take on it, I think.
Which one? Maybe we can all find out. I've got
lots of them. Lots of them. Kim, my girl, she be making me think. I'm like, well, I mean, it could be, but
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
All right, family. So we're going to play the governor, who is actually questioned by our good brother and journalist for the California Black media, Antonio Harvey. So let's take a look at this clip.
Reparations demonstrators. While we're on this subject of bills, I just want to know, what did you know about the bills not being brought to the floor? The two critical reparation bills, Senate Bill 1403 and Senate Bill 1331.
Forgive me, because there's over 1,000. I'm not very good at the numeric, but
we'll talk about agency.
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. What I do know is
You had added some amendments to Bradford's desk on August 26th.
As it relates,
You're off.
well, hold on. We work with the legislature throughout the legislative process on amendments. Sometimes they advance those amendments, sometimes they don't take our amendments, and those bills are sent to my desk. I think you're referencing bills that were not sent to my desk that did not pass through the legislature. As it relates to the broader issue of reparations, which I appreciate both of you referencing, we work very closely with the Black Caucus on a package of reparations reforms. We met before the legislative session. We met during the legislative session. We worked very collaboratively on amendments. We also worked on bills without amendments. And I think the vast majority of those that we agreed to and worked collaboratively together with the Black Caucus have ended up on my desk. I'll be reviewing them all on the merits. And I want to applaud the head of the Black Caucus, Lori Wilson, who's been spectacular in advancing those bills, their principles, and advancing them in a collaborative spirit.
Much under fire about those two critical bills that did not make it to your desk.
Well, those bills, you'll have to ask them, the legislature, why those didn't land on my desk.
Did you tell the Black Caucus that you would veto the Reparations Agency and Reparations Fund bill?
I didn't talk directly to anyone about those two bills. As it relates to the process of how bills are done broadly in the state, there's a collaborative process. People ask our opinions. Are there concerns? Issues that have dollar figures are consistently marked. Consistently. If it wasn't done in the budget, that's going to be a challenge. There's always exceptions to that, but that's going to be a challenge. And that was a process that unfolded over the course, as I said, of months, particularly as it relates to the reparations package, in partnership with the Black Caucus. And there was no daylight with Lori Wilson and the Black Caucus as it relates to the work that we did collaboratively together. And let me just, on a personal note, and forgive me about this, she did not deserve to be attacked like she was attacked. Members of the Black Caucus did not deserve to be attacked and their integrity impugned. That was disgraceful. There were members of that Black Caucus that are owed an apology for being treated the way they were treated, to be doxxed, to be personally maligned and attacked. So forgive me for expressing that. Great respect and admiration for the leadership of the Black Caucus and members of the Black Caucus.
Oh my God. You know what? I felt like he was pointing his finger at me like I'm some type of child. You should be doing this. White master has spoken. You have no business trying to, as Black descendant Americans here, we have no right to be able to hold our elected officials accountable. How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know, Kim.
My thought is that he up there lying because he talks about Lori Wilson was spectacular at advancing the bills. No, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't. But he has spoken, so we have to align ourselves to what he said and do what he says. No, you are wrong. It's just the opposite is happening.
Right.
And I'm glad. Mm-hmm.
All right, so
and he definitely used this opportunity to shift all the blame to the
blame
CLBC.
On them.
He said,
but they both been doing that.
You must be talking about bills that ain't made it to my desk. Oh, those bills, I don't know the numbers. They didn't make it to my desk.
Mm-hmm. But Kim, they're both shifting the blame, depending on if you're talking to CLBC or you're talking to Newsom. They're both shifting the blame.
Absolutely.
Covering for each other.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's been some questioning about this bill AB 1840 and the eligibility with Newsom. So let's go over this article real quick. So it says Newsom vetoes bill that would have opened new path to home ownership for undocumented immigrants. It says Governor Gavin Newsom has vetoed a bill that would have allowed undocumented immigrants living in California the ability to qualify for first-time home buying loans. Newsom cited funding concerns and the bill's potential fiscal impact on the state budget in his veto message. Quote, given the finite funding available for Cal HFA programs, expanding program eligibility must be carefully considered within the broader context of the annual state budget to ensure we manage our resources effectively, end quote, the message read. For this reason, I am unable to sign this bill, Newsom said in the statement, and that is AB 1840.
Mm-hmm. Kim,
So,
I love your take on that, Kim. You want
Well,
that's Kim's analogy.
This is
Yeah.
just a theory, and I don't want to confuse things from the actual facts that may be out there just surrounding his decision to veto 1840. But I felt like we were used as pawns in this game. He didn't want to sign this anyways, and then by doing what they did with the reparations bills, it gave him an easy out. To veto this bill and not have to deal with our bills either.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and this is just my opinion, that if he did sign this bill, his aspirations for president or any other potential political position would have been in serious danger. I'll just say that.
Right, and by like I said, the old flim flam they pulled with the reparations bills, it pretty much made it airtight. He made an airtight situation for himself where he wouldn't have to sign this controversial bill.
Yes, I agree with you, Kim and Umoya, and of course we are only speaking our personal opinions because we all have them. Umoya, you said that had he signed the bill, it would have damaged his future aspiration. I think he's damaged still. You know what I'm saying? Because we have the United States, Black people across this United States have watched this. You know what I'm saying? And who's to say that the CLBC in good faith are going to bring the bills back up the way that they are instead of. And then he's saying that he didn't know the numbers. How did you not know the numbers when you sent forth some amendments to specifically SB 1403 that wanted to turn it into another 2-year study? So how all of a sudden you don't know what we're talking about? You know what I'm saying? I think he's already done. He's cooked, and hopefully so.
Okay. Well, I want to let's play a clip because he mentioned that I guess the public or somebody should be apologizing for Lori Wilson, but let's play a couple of clips to see, and people can make their own opinions as we go about viewing these clips. But I want to play a couple of clips just to, I don't know, see if he may be contradicting himself or not. If he didn't actually know about what was actually happening on the ground to his constituents during this hearing. So let's play a couple of these clips. Let's go with this first one.
They don't care. Are you guys letting people in yet? The thing's been going on for like 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's a pass only event over here on the assembly side.
Okay, well, how do we get a pass?
You gotta go to the second floor.
We've been to the second floor.
Oh, okay.
This is obstruction of justice of the democratic process. Are you letting other people in? We're here, the other people are in.
Yeah.
My fourth day, and all of a sudden I can't get in.
It's pass only event. I don't know if you've been let in the rest of the time.
Okay, well, how you have a pass only event, but they're not handing out passes to get in? Or they're only handing out passes to certain people?
Yeah.
All right, so that was actually Kim and Darlene at the hearing on August 31st. Can you two explain like the scenario and the situation at that particular time?
I'll let you take this, Darlene, and I'll chime in.
Okay, well, what happened, we, as Kim had mentioned in the video, we had been there for already 2 hours. And so Wednesday, the first day of the assembly hearing, yes, we were instructed to get a pass on the second floor, which we did. The Thursday, Friday, no passes required. We went right upstairs, no issue. Okay. Now it was that Saturday when more folks was up there and they got nervous because they had already inclined, for I understand that they knew that they were not going to present those bills, and they didn't want the fallout to happen inside the chamber, I think. And so they just left us in the rotunda all that time. I mean, we were there till midnight, a lot of us, and just hoping that those bills would go through. So it was a slap in the face. We were denied the democratic process. And then also, I want to just note that when we were there Wednesday in the chamber, they had the front seats on both sides, and then they had each side. When we got back there Thursday, those seats were taken out. You mean to tell me they couldn't wait till the following week to take out those seats? So that's a little suspect, I believe. And the fact that, and I'm not taking it out on that man that we were speaking to, nor the woman that was behind them. That they were very nice those other days. They're lower level employees, so they're just doing what was coming down the pike. Who made the decision not to let these black people up there? It was not a good look. Although I've heard someone say that they felt it was a good look so the world could see. So I kind of agree with that also. But the fact that I had been there my fourth day and I couldn't get in, I felt a little differently. So we're just, that needs to be investigated. He says that we owe Lori Wilson in particular, but the CLBC also, we owe them an apology. You owe us an apology for you not doing your job.
Absolutely. And it looks like, some statute has been broken by not allowing the public into a public
hearing.
Right. So there's going to be more information coming down about that. So on Wednesday, we had a crowd come up from LA, Raphael and Miss Nita, Tiffany Quarles. So there was a good amount of us in there on Wednesday.
Mhm.
On Thursday, I believe it was just me, you, and Chris. And that's when they physically removed the seats. They said that they had to be renovated. So they physically removed the seats. Over half the chamber was unaccessible for attendees. So that happened. And that was the same situation on Friday. They did not want a big crowd, and we could see that. And then on Saturday, when a relatively large crowd did show up, they just stopped letting us in at all.
Period. And we had folks drive up from LA. I understand that there was 2 caravans that came up from LA. Wanted to make sure that these historic bills were going to be passed. We knew we had to vote. This back and forth. Oh, we can't do it because Newsom said he was going to veto. Well, let him veto it.
Right, that's his job. Let him do his job. Mm-hmm.
Do yours. And then he doesn't even, this was not brought up in the question. He doesn't even talk about, it was not brought up to him that mocking that we got from member Sawyer. Ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean, how unprofessional.
Speaking about that, Darlene, real quick, let's play that clip.
Wow. He didn't even win his council seat that he was running. Of course, he has turned out as well, but he did run for city council. He did not win. But Sawyer has never been a friend of ours. I remember quite well doing one of the California Reparations Task Force hearings, and I'm paraphrasing. He said it didn't make any difference whether you came on a cruise ship or a slave ship. We're all the same. No, we are not. One are American freemen, and one is leaving their homeland to come here. This is our home.
Right. He's been an open enemy from the beginning. I'm not even sure how he got selected to be the manager to present 1403, but we know that with the existing CLBC, it's pretty slim pickings on.
Well, also, Kim, you have to realize that, and this is another thing that needs to be brought up, the term coldness of the CLBC is that Senator Bradford read, I'm going to say it's AB 3089, forgive me if I'm wrong, the apology. He presented the apology in the Senate at the same time. So in turn, Sawyer should have brought to the floor 1403, SB 1403.
He absolutely should have. And as far as his LA race, I saw that he came in 5th place out of 5 candidates. So, I mean, it's time to go sit down.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Good.
And I can see why. 5 out of 5, and I can see why.
And we're not talking about people's batting average. All right.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, there should be an apology coming from the CLBC for the way that they conducted themselves on August the 31st.
Absolutely. All right, so let's check out some more clips. I guess there's a senator by the name of Bill Asili,
however you want to pronounce it.
He's a Republican. And let's play the clips as we go along. Here we go.
Why don't you explain to me exactly what was going down here and what you were trying to do by this maneuver?
Yeah, I think you explained it pretty well. I mean, Gavin Newsom basically called at the 11th hour and said, don't send this to me, I'll veto it. And so he didn't want to look like the racist bad guy, so he wanted the assembly to take the hit. Well, the Capitol was filled with activists who've been promised this by the Democrat Party for years, and they were mad. And at that moment in time, I think they realized they had been used by the Democrat Party for their votes. So I told them, I actually met with them. They're very nice people. I think they're, they were misled. And I said, you know what, I'll put it up for a vote because you know what, you deserve at least a day, a hearing and a vote to know where every representative stands on this issue, especially the ones that promised you something and they turned their backs. And Grant, what's most offensive about all this is they're handing out billions of dollars to illegal immigrants. And when it comes down to funding, Americans, not just this issue, but other issues, we get told there's no money.
Absolutely.
A hand clap for Asili, even though people are like, oh, he's just, self-serving, his own interests. I don't care.
I don't care.
He, is willing to advance those bills to the floor, even if he would have voted no on it, just get them to the floor.
He played chess with the CLBC was playing checkers, and I was quite offended, and I don't even know the person's name. He approached me when Asili came out, and he said what he said, democracy, blah blah blah.
It doesn't exist.
And then someone came to me, well, he's just using you. I said, first of all, you don't know me. He's not using me. I know the game he's playing. I could care less. But what I do know is that our historic bills, SB 1403 and SB 1331, did not even go up for a vote. That's the least you can do. Now, if he put the Democratic Party on blast for it, oh, well, that's what you get.
Absolutely.
So let's play a clip. Looks like there was some, I don't want to say it was an altercation, maybe not physically at least, between Isaac Bryan, who you see on the screen. I think he's third from the top left, and Representative Republican Asili, as he was speaking in the previous clip. So let's see this altercation here.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but now you want to be a reparations person. But you won't vote for the bill. I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it up.
I would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
Yeah, that reminds me of a Ghetto Boys verse. You contradict yourself in every phrase. An effort that's always talking loud, saying nothing.
But I don't even see how he even had the audacity, but we know who we're dealing with now, to even call his bluff when you yourself, Isaac, you wouldn't even second it. You didn't bring the bill up. So
Didn't bring the
how
bill
would you
up.
so how are you even saying anything to him? This was your job. Your constituents wanted those bills brought up for a vote, and you did not do your job. You can swing it any way you want to.
Right. And just a little bit of inside information. When it became apparent that the managers, the bill managers, were not going to do their jobs, the ones that were, committed to do that, Reggie Jones Sawyer on 1403 and Mia Bonta on 1331, Isaac said that he told the activist that he was going to be a jockey for those bills. They had all kinds of stories about hands being tied. We can't do it unless, we get permission from this person, permission from the chair, this, that, the third, and the other. And I'm like, okay, well, this came straight from his mouth. When I saw him, it was either Wednesday, maybe it was Thursday or Friday.
It was Friday. I believe it was Friday. When we saw
Friday. Yeah, when we saw the right, we were starting to see that the right was on the wall. And I'm like, okay, well, if if you're called to task and you're able to do it, will you bring these bills to the floor? And he's like, yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah. We giving pounds, all this other stuff. And then, obviously his hands weren't tied like he was telling us he was, because Asali was able to bring the bills forward. So that was all a lie.
And just if it wasn't already mentioned, Asali at the time needed a second to to motion it onto the floor so it could be voted. And that was a great time for our big brother Isaac Bryan to step up and be the man that I guess he was claiming to be. And so it looks like there was a town hall that was scheduled later after the hearings for some good people down in Los Angeles. So let's go ahead and check out that clip with Isaac Bryan.
This community, when I saw this was happening, even though I got married like yesterday, I told my new wife I have to be there. And we rolling solo. It's been a hard year in the Capitol, and I know you all feel that. I had no problem with any of these bills. The problem was raised a few days before in the caucus. There's been crack.
So anyway, I believe if you go to, is it Leap Official on their YouTube page? Leap Official, yeah. So if you go to Leap Official, that was live streamed, right, and recorded.
Yes.
At Town Hall. Okay. Yes. So yeah, family, if you go to Leap Official, check them out, subscribe to their channel. You can as well check out the full, I believe, Town Hall that Isaac Bryan showed up. Now look, he showed up. So from my understanding, there were other legislators that got invited and they didn't show up. So at least for me, I give him credit, you know what I mean, for taking, that information. I'm just keeping it PC on the platform. But hey, he showed up, so I got to give him credit there, but that is not an excuse for him not putting those bills up to vote.
He didn't show up when it was necessary. So.
Can I say my not conspiracy theory, but how I feel about him showing up? My personal opinion. First of all, you start off saying, "Oh, I was just married. I told my new wife," but that's a personal problem. You know what I'm saying? We don't care. But someone. To me, there must have been some kind of backdoor dealing within the CLBC. Someone had to be the sacrificial lamb to get out and be the face of trying to backpedal and explain what happened. And that just happened to be Isaac Bryan. because immediately the next day, even before the town hall, so it would have been that Sunday. If you notice, if you go look at any of his tweets, he starts explaining and backpatting right then and there. I thought you were getting married. You know what I'm saying? So to me, he was a sacrificial lamb to be the face of trying to tell us what happened.
Interesting.
That's just my personal opinion, because he's the only one that I think Assembly Member McKenna came out with a op-ed about it or something, but she's another one.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think he, showed up to save face. And he was also on, KBLA with Dominique DePrima, so he's definitely making the damage control appearances. But I don't think anybody's buying it.
No one's buying it, I mean, I understand it. The little that I was able to watch, again, that's Elite, LEAP, that official on YouTube. He was not treated too kindly, but you're a politician. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you didn't, you telling the Republican, oh, you voted for 3 strikes, you did it, what all of a sudden you're a reparationist? Well, sir, you're not. So what I'm just saying, that's the kettle. What is it? The skillet calling the kettle black or something? You're not either.
Right. That whole excerpt was just, like I said, contradicting himself. He's like, oh, well, I voted, I supported these bills all the way through session. I supported well, if you're not going to support them when it counts,
then
gives a care.
And the thing of it is, several of us, was there at the Assembly Appropriations Suspense hearing. They moved out. So if they were really going to die, they should have died there.
Moved out with no
problems, nothing. They moved out. We get here that following Wednesday, August the 15th. Like Kim mentioned earlier, we had several of our LA folks come up, and they had to turn around with no results.
Yeah, it was a huge disappointment, and there was no reason for these bills not to advance to the assembly floor.
Absolutely not. Okay, we have a couple more videos, and then we'll get into kind of the update, what's going on with the election that's coming up in November. So let's play this next one, and let's go.
Yeah, no reparation, no vote. If you don't give us no reparation, you ain't getting no vote. Y'all gave the legal. Y'all gave a free healthcare with no pushback.
I'm all up in the front.
You are
with my camera. I gotta go back and find that video. Maybe I got some of what she was saying on there.
I could just see the top of my hair.
I gotta go back and find that video and see if I can see what she was saying.
Yeah, those who don't know and may not have known, that was Chair Wilson.
That was Chair Wilson.
That was Chair Wilson speaking to Chris. Chris was going in, as he always does, and she had nothing to say.
Yep. Okay, so Senator Bradford, I think he was, lack of a better word, or just get right to the point, being thrown underneath the bus at some point in this transaction, what was happening with the bills. And I think he was on a couple of interviews explaining his side of the story. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to capture some of his videos, but we do have it looks like there was a piece that was written by Political. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and so we could see what Bradford had to say about it. All right, Miss Kim, if you have a chance, do you mind getting rid of that overlay and so we can read some of the screen. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. All right. There's an article written by Political. It states California slavery reparations bills unraveled over Gavin Newsom's amendments. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if we can kind of get right down to the main thing that I'm going. Okay, so let's just start here. It says draft amendments obtained by Political Saturday, which was August 31st, but dated Monday, proposed sending $6 million to California State University to study how to implement recommendations from the state's task force on reparations, including how to confirm the status of a person seeking reparations. The draft changes remove the bill's core purpose, which was creating a new Freedmen Affairs agencies. Bradford's office confirmed the authenticity of the draft and said it had come from the Newsom administration. The senator told reporters the governor's office had cited cost pressures during a year in which the state had to trim billions from its budget. Newsom's spokesperson, Izzy Gardone, would not answer questions about changes to the bill sought by the governor's office, saying only that Newsom has, quote, been working collaboratively with the Legislative Black Caucus on the reparations package, and quote, he pointed to a lengthy statement the governor gave during his January budget presentation. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and can you mind putting that overlay up again? Greatly appreciate that. All right. So what's very interesting about that is, if people don't know, but I'm just assuming that for people that are following California reparations out here, that there was going to be $12 million allocated towards reparations efforts here in California. So, you know, I don't know Kim and Darlene, but for me, that just seems a little, you know, contradictory, where, you know, money was going to be distributed towards these efforts, and then all of a sudden, according to this article, you know, oh, well, now we got to change it. Now we're going to, you know, to be a study. Well, why are you going to do that? I mean, it's already out in the public that the 12 million, there's a budget for this already. So now you're just going to scrap all this at the last second? I mean, this just does not make any sense.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking that when we first heard about the $12 million budget allocation, and you know, I didn't want to think it into the universe or speak it into the universe, but I'm like, so what happens if the bills don't pass? What's going to happen with this $12 million that's already being allocated in the budget? And now that we see the bills did not even make it to the floor for a Democratic vote, it sounds like they already have other plans with the money to funnel through nonprofit agencies. So it almost seems like a
money grab.
You know, right. Like they created a little slush fund out of what was supposed to be reparations implementation funding.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the fact that they're even saying another study to determine eligibility. I'm sorry, don't we already have a science called genealogy? What is it that else needs to be studied except SB 1403 that would have created the agency with the Office of Genealogy in it? Solved. Case solved.
And last time I checked, wasn't there California Reparations Task Force that already studied?
2 years of study. No, I'm not.
Last time we checked.
And we've been to every single one, you know, so I'm saying always with black folks, I should say descendant black folks who have descended from chattel slavery here in the United States. They always want to do a study. Can't you pick up a history book? Pick up the California Reparations Task Force, 100-page report. What is it that you need to do? I mean, we talked about that, the three of us, when they released the Kerner report in 1968. It's set on the shelf. But nothing coming about it. So this cannot happen. So we need to, go full steam ahead of that. We're not dying. They think we're going away, but we're not. That's what they're used to. Let's just tell these Negroes to, step back and apologize. That's not happening. No.
Yeah. All right. So let's play this. I believe last video before we start getting into these.
Really quick before we play the last video, or what is the last video?
This is a clip of Chris Lodgson and Sharice at the Capitol.
Okay, well, while we're on the subject, I just wanted to bring up this comment. I know we usually reserve them for the end, but bills would have not gotten vetoed.
I 100% agree.
Right. And Roland Martin did a really good interview with Senator Stephen Bradford.
I was surprised.
Even a broken clock,
it was a broken clock. Right, I was really
right a couple times a day. But he mentioned in that interview that, he's been in the legislature for 14 years. This has happened before. This is not his first rodeo where bills have been threatened to be vetoed if he didn't accept amendments. And he's like, we pushed them through without taking any amendments, and they actually did get signed anyway. So you can't just say, oh, maybe they'll get vetoed, so let's not do it. You push them through anyways and let the governor do his job.
Yes, that, and also, Kim, how you feel about Assemblymember, how do you pronounce his name? What is his name? The Republican. Saley. Whatever you feel about him or not, what he did say, which I 100% agree, Newsom did not want to appear racist, a white racist, vetoing these bills. So he pushed it back on the CLBC. That is a fact. I will firmly always believe that, because he does have aspirations of running for president. You're still not getting it.
Yeah. Well, let's just say allegedly, but yeah.
Allegedly, yeah, that's true. Because he hasn't made an announcement. He had to, take a back seat to Kamala Harris right now. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's roll the tape.
The speaker needs to bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they gonna see this and they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills, then they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Okay? We don't care. Bring the goddamn bills up now.
The governor needs to understand that the world is watching California, and this is going to have a direct impact on your friend Kamala Harris, who's running for president. This is going to have a direct impact. So pull up the bills now, vote on them, and sign them.
We have
We've been waiting for over 400 years.
Yeah, that clip actually went viral. Last time I checked, it had over 3 million views, I want to say.
And I've seen it like on every think piece YouTuber talking about it. They play that clip, and it's because it's important. And one of the reasons we're here today to talk about the upcoming election, the Democrats have to pay, and this could potentially impact Kamala's run.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go over, as people can't see on the screen, I'm sure it's pretty hard to see the names underneath. So for those who don't know the current 12 members of the CLBC, let's go over them.
Let me quickly read this slide regarding terms in office.
All right.
Members are allowed by current term limits to serve 12 years in the legislature in any combination of 4 years Senate state senate or 2-year state assembly terms. Okay, and then I'm just going to jump down because they talk about some other stuff that's not really relevant to us. Every 2 years, all 80 seats in the assembly are subject to election. This is in contrast to the state senate, in which only half of the 40 seats are subject to election every 2 years. So that would be 20. So this slide here shows us all of the assembly members are up for election, which the slide just said they're up for election every 2 years, whereas Senate members have 4-year terms. So that's important to note. And I'll give you an example as to why. Akilah Weber down here, it looks like her run in this election cycle is going to be to transfer from the assembly to the Senate. So that means that if she does get her Senate seat, and what district is that? Do you see? Is that 39? She's
Yeah, it's
running for
39.
District 39. Okay. So if she does obtain that Senate seat, that means that she will be in that position for 4 long years.
Bump it up. All right, Kim, we'll come back to this slide, but can we go back to the previous one? Just kind of want to do an overall summary of what's going to happen. So we have Lori Wilson, who's currently the chair, Stephen Bradford, who's going to be terming out. Shout out to Stephen Bradford, and he's the one, once again, that authored the bills SB 1331, which is the fund, and SB 1403, which would establish the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency. And then we have Assembly Member Isaac Bryan, and then Dr. Akilah Weber, Tina McKenna, Lola Smallwood Cuevas. She's a senator. She's a senator currently. And then we have Mike Gibson, who's, if you notice, the green dots are assembly members and the red dots are senators. Then we have Reginald Byron Jones Sawyer Sr. He's terming out himself. Mia Bonta, Assembly. Looks like we also have Christopher Holden. He's terming out. Dr. Corey Jackson. He's running, which we will show on the other slide. And then Kevin McCarthy as well, and he's running for mayor in Sacramento, California. So that was my summary of it. Kim, if you want to elaborate on any of those on the screen, please do so.
Just to make note that Senator Stephen Bradford is running for lieutenant governor, so that would be for 2026. So I just want everybody to, put a pin in that so we can support him in any way that we can in his future political endeavors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me personally, I think Stephen Bradford should run for governor, but that's just my personal opinion. But whatever he wants to do in his future, we definitely should support him because he's been transparent this whole time. And so we just have to give credit where credit is due.
Yes, real stand-up guy there.
All right, so I guess let's go to the other slide, shall we? Thank you very much. All right, so this upcoming election, November 5th, which, by the way, Kim and Darlene, I think we need to do like an election overall summary, like early election periods, what that is, how do you find your district and who are you voting for? I think we should, do that show. That should be a separate show. Just so we, so everybody's aware of the timelines, because I think it's, important that we know the procedures coming up. So, and then, by the way, and we should also, I don't know off the top of my head, if you haven't registered to vote, please register to vote.
Yes.
I mean, it's so important that you exercise your right. Regardless if you choose not to vote, that's up to you, because you may not feel like the people that are up for election may not be what you like. But hey, that's up to you. At least exercise your right and register to vote. All right, here we go. District 11, which now this isn't an exhaustive list, so there obviously might be more cities in these districts. So if you have a chance, please look it up if you're in these districts. But in District 11, we have Lori Wilson, who's currently the chair of the CLBC, and Dave Enos. He's a Republican, and Lori Wilson is a Democrat. Once again, that's Vacaville, Fairfield, and Antioch. And I believe, Darlene, that's in your district, correct?
Yes, it is. There's also the city of Sassoon. A lot of us say Fairfield, Sassoon, because you walk across the street in Sassoon. That's where her district office is located. There's also some small surrounding little cities, Rio Vista, parts of Sacramento, that kind of thing. So Vallejo, it just stretches. So, but this, if you could have just added Sassoon, that almost might have covered her bases. And understand that Rio Vista is a small Democratic city, which I don't know. I'm sorry, not Democratic, Republican city that votes very heavily during the elections. I'm actually working with someone from the Solano Black Chamber of Commerce. She's able to map out these little cities in the areas that they're going to vote Republican. Her issue is to get the Republican Party out to vote, and our issue is to just let our community be aware of what happened to our very historic bills, SB 1403 and SB 1331, and the backstabbing that went on and not even allowing our bills to come up to vote.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so in family, we're actually going to, as Kim mentioned earlier, we're going to be going into a deep dive in terms of, some of their political perspectives. But right now, we just want to give everybody an overall summary of what's happening in November.
Right. And we'll also be looking to interview some of these opponents of the CLBC in upcoming shows. So hit the bell so you do not miss any of the notifications and updates.
And tentatively, we do have Mr. Ennis for the 29th. We just got to.
Oh, we're already confirmed? Okay.
Yeah, we just got to iron out some things. But yes.
Okay, hit the bell, subscribe.
All right. We got District 18, Mia Bonta. Once again, as Kim was saying, she was the jockey to bring up SB, was it? It was
1331.
It was 1331.
It was her responsibility.
Yeah. So
she
is the one.
She committed to present these bills and failed to do that.
Yep. So she is running. Go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the things, if I'm not mistaken, is when she gave comment on, which is now vetoed, AB 1840. I think you saw that, I think you even put it on the tape, but she is claiming that immigrants built this country. How can you stand up and say that? And you're saying that the immigrants built this country, and you won't even bring the actual people's bill who built this country up for a vote.
Yeah, so that is important to note since you're talking about it. I mean, we know that AB 14 was vetoed by the government. That's the undocumented immigration housing assistance bill. And she jockeyed for that bill so hard during the floor sessions. I mean, she just went up there with her full chest and said, this is what needs to happen. So even though this bill got vetoed, it did go through the due process of getting its vote and getting presented on the floor.
That's a great observation, Kim. Thank you for that. All right, and then we have Andre Sanford, which we actually had a chance to interview him. And that is in the Oakland and Emeryville area. There may be some more cities involved in that district, obviously, but check out the interview with Andre. He's definitely for reparations here, lineage in California. So we definitely appreciated him taking his time out to speak with Amen the Mass Media Group. And I think somebody commented somewhere about, I don't know if it was, towards, Andre. But just to clarify, according to Ballotpedia, he's an American independent. So there you go. Basically, they were saying they're not going to vote for anybody who's a Democrat. Once again, that anybody can vote for whoever they want to. But, that's, I guess they were basically saying that this dude was a Democrat. I mean, that was my assessment. I could be wrong according to the comment. But once again, please do your research before commenting. That's always a great idea. Please do your research before commenting. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
And like Yamoya said, we did have a chance, had a chance to interview him during the floor proceedings last Saturday, and we'll try to get him on the show so we can, see where his, values lie.
Exactly. So yeah. So in the interim, go check out that video right here on Amen the Mass Media Group, and please like, share, and subscribe.
But he definitely does stand for reparations. I heard that out of his own mouth. So yes.
Well, I actually asked him when we were at the Capitol. I actually asked him, and he gave me a little look, But I mean, we vetting has became so important now.
Absolutely.
I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you do look like me. You know what I'm saying? Where do you stand? Because we saw what the CLBC did to us. They turned their backs to us.
Yeah. So if we can get him on the show, we'll definitely nail him down to these issues.
All right. District 55, we have Isaac Bryan.
Where's the boo button? Where's the boo button?
Wait a minute. Where's the boo button? Do we need to give him a boo? Okay.
No, yeah.
Sorry. Got to get the boo. It's funny. How many times have we actually hit the boo button in the last
what? Today was the first one for me. I know you guys have been on it a couple of years before me, but I've never. I didn't even know, and I was afraid you was getting ready to clap when I first saw it because I had never seen the boo button. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, what are you getting ready to do?
This is two times in one day that we've hit the boo button.
Okay.
And hopefully we won't have to hit it that much more. But yes, this is 2 times in one day. All right. So his opponent is Keith Casillo. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He is a Republican, and that's in the Culver City and the community of Leimert Park. And then we have Corey Jackson.
Real quick. I just have information from the Leimert Park Town Hall. Somebody told me, I was informed that Isaac's opponent did show up to the town hall.
Oh, he did.
He did. And he actually said, because he was questioned, like you said, we're vetting everybody. And he says that he is for reparations for FBA and ADOS.
What?
He might,
Is that can we find that on Leap's official? Which
I don't know if it was a part of the official recording. I just got a little inside information from an attendee that was there and was privy to that conversation.
Well, I tell you what, let's reach out to him and see if he'd be able to.
Yeah, maybe we get him on the show too. Let's talk to him.
Let's have a conversation.
Let's do it.
All right. Corey Jackson of the Democratic Party and current member of the CLBC. His opponent is Ron Edwards, who is a Republican. All right. And that's in Merino Valley in Casa Loma. And that's District 60. District 61, Tina McKinnon of the Democratic Party versus Al Hernandez. He's of the Republican Party. That's District 61 once again. District 65, Mike Gibson and versus he's a CLBC member, obviously, versus Lydia A. Gutierrez. She's of the Republican Party, and that's of the cities of West Carson and West Rancho Dominguez. That's District 65. And also Akilah Weber, who's currently actually she's in the assembly, right? I'm not.
She's in the assembly.
Sure.
Yeah,
She has
okay.
her mother.
She's
She has
in the
her mother's
assembly.
old seat. She has her mother, her Dr. Shirley Weber's old seat in the assembly.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like, I know I'm not tripping. Okay. So she's currently in the assembly, but she's going to be running in the Senate, as Kim mentioned earlier,
Correct.
in San Diego, and that's District 39. And Bob Devine is of the Republican Party, and he's going to be running once again versus Dr. Akilah Weber. And the upcoming elections are November 5th, which is the general election here in California and all across the United States of America. So that's a quick summary. Be on the lookout. We're actually going to go into more details and more specifics, and hopefully we can actually get, some of these people who are running in the election that are running against the CLBC on the platform. And hey, if any of the CLBC members would like to come on to any of the new Black media, including in the Mass Media Group, we welcome you too.
And also, your more early voting, so it is good for everyone to register to vote if you have not done so yet. Early voting starts October 7th.
Do you know when the cutoff is to register, Darlene, off the top of your head?
Well, actually, and we could come back with that information, but actually you have until the day before, but it would be what they call a, what's the word that they use? A conditional vote. Now, what that actually means, I don't know, because you are waiting till the 11th hour, and most of the polls may already be geared up and know what their area is going to do. So it's called a conditional vote, if you wait until that day before. So I would just advise, it's very simple to do online. 1, 2, 3, it's done.
Yes, so do that sooner than later and do your research. I mean, even though we have early voting available, do your research on all the candidates before actually casting your vote to make sure that they represent your best interests. All right. And then one more time again, we can screenshot the Find Your Representative QR code for those of you who might not know who your representative is, or if you're interested in knowing, who some of these other representatives are. You could put in the zip code, address and zip code information, and the rep for that region will come up by using this QR code. So that's just a handy tool to be able to find out who your representative is. Find your rep.
Absolutely. Okay. Kim, I don't know if we have time to kind of go over the other slides right now.
Not really. We can go back into them, but since we are on short time, just short time here, we'll just go over these couple too. Again, Lori Wilson is up for election November 5th. We're just taking a quick look at their demographics for the area. Black African American, 12%. So just know that you guys have 12.05% voting power in her district. And Mia Bonta, another one who really let us down on the assembly floor vote in management of SB 1331 and presenting that bill. Let's see. Did we get demographic information on here? Yeah. So Black 21.3%. It looks like approximately 106,000 residents, approximately Black residents in her area. So just remember that when you go to the polls.
And she is. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I was just going to say, I've seen on X some of our Caucasian brothers and sisters, and they could just be on social media because, I draw a fine line with that, that, they're saying that our democratic process was denied.
It was
It
definitely
was definitely
denied.
denied. So, some people that are really talking about, being a democratic society, city, whatever, everyone didn't look at that, regardless to how you land or feel about reparations. You are denying a certain demographic their right.
Yeah,
So,
that's why the California Reparations Task Force final report has a whole chapter on political disenfranchisement, and this is what we're
one
still
of them.
going through today. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's an
Yeah.
uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, it is. But that's okay. We're here for it.
Absolutely. And just to note that she is married to Attorney General Rob Bonta, who does support reparations, by the way. He
about
said
a
that what'd you say?
I
Talk
said
about a
supposed.
conflict.
Yeah, well, that's what he
Conflict
said at the California Reparations Task Force. So I don't.
He did, as he was handed that beautifully hardbound copy
Yeah.
of the report. Yes.
So, I don't know, but that's what he said.
That's what he said.
So let's go over some. There are actually some events coming up here in California. So let's go ahead and review some of these events. So one event that you can attend actually online is EPA for reparations. That's East Palo Alto for reparations. They're having California reparations bills that were axed at the California State Assembly and the next steps for reparations in California. So they are having a meeting tonight at 7 p.m. For more information, you can reach out to them at reparationsforepa@gmail.com. That's reparationsforepa@gmail.com. We also have on Wednesday, 9/11 at 6:30 p.m. A new volunteer meeting hosted by California for a Just and Equitable California. It says, fight for reparations. You mad about recent reparations events in California? Good. Now get active in the fight for reparations. So hit that QR code or log on to cjec-official.org to get more information. That's Wednesday, 9/11, 6:30 p.m. PST. Now, it's interesting because as we've been going through this reparations movement here, people always ask, like, what can we do? How can we get involved? Well, first of all, you can like, share, and subscribe on this channel to get updated. And also, you can get involved with CJEC as well. I mean, it's not that difficult, even if it is just to get informed and be aware. And shout out to, I think it was 200 plus people that showed up at the hearing, at the assembly hearing on August 31st. So, that's talking about taking action, right? But, at minimum, sign up to CJEC and just get informed, stay involved, because, this isn't over. This is just, it was a little stop, little stop off the side of the road, but, this is definitely not over. And we as a people, we have a right to exercise, what we need to exercise to get what we need to get done here in California. So go ahead and register. That's Wednesday, 9/11. There's going to be a Zoom meeting. So it's your chance. Show up and let's go ahead and do this. Darlene, Kim, did y'all have something to say before I move on about it?
Well, I just want to shout out to two members that are leaked that are featured in this photo here. We have Chad Brown and we have Marcus Chapman. I mean, some soldiers. That's all I can say. They are some serious reparation soldiers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Marcus and Chad. Peace to lead. Peace to lead.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. And that was on, wait a minute. Do I have this right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was on the, okay. Okay. Let me switch this up. Okay. So that was on the 11th. A lot going on, family, next week. So we got here in Sacramento, it looks like there's there's a community meeting at Florence Square. It's a 2251 Florence Road. That's Friday, September 13th, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. There's going to be a community town hall meeting as well, with members from CJEC. So please show up, all right, and get involved, right? This is your chance before these bills are reintroduced to the legislation, again, this upcoming legislative cycle. So as I said before, you got to get active, you got to get involved, and this is a chance for everyone to do so. So that's Friday, 9/13 from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Florence Square, 2251 Florence Road. We also have here in Sacramento as well, the State of Black California / Reparations community meeting, featuring 2 CLBC members who blocked California reparations bills. That looks like Assemblymember Corey Jackson and Assemblymember Kevin McCarty will be there at, looks like, I can't see the exact, it's going to be at the California Museum. Okay, that's on O Street. So yeah, it's going to be at the California Museum. There should be a QR code at the bottom right, but also just take a screenshot. You can see the address there. That's Saturday, September 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you want to show up there as well. That's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right. So we also have a reparations talk down in Southern California. Looks like it's being hosted once again by Chris Lodgen. So shout out to Chris with the CJEC, the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California. That's from 2 to 5 p.m. September 15th. That's on a Sunday at Rare Essence Barber and Beauty Salon. That's 27326 Jefferson Avenue, Suite B14 in Temecula, California, 92590. For more information, call Reggie 951-551-5404. And you can get more information at cjec-official.org.
I have a question about that one, sort of like a sidebar. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Reggie say that it was either the first and only Black barbershop in that area? I mean, did I hear him say that?
Yeah, I can't recall. I mean, we'd have to ask him. I don't know. He might be in the chat right now. Who knows? But he definitely can confirm that because I don't recall that.
It seemed like I thought, and that's kind of historical because especially for Black men, our Black barber shops have always been a safe haven.
Absolutely.
To be able to speak freely. So shout out to Reggie.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go through for those that actually did miss the appreciation and recognition show. I would like to give a big shout out to those who've been down on boots on the ground day one in this reparations fight here in California. So let's start out with the one and only Ms. Kim Mims, Advocate of the Year. I know you're missing this week, so it's good to formally present you with this wonderful appreciation and recognition. So Kim, as always, love you, appreciate you. You put in to lineage-based reparations. So, as always, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And it's definitely my honor. And I got to let you know, I be honest, Umoya definitely keeps me on task.
Maybe a little bit.
Keeps me on task. So, thanks, partner.
Of course, family. So last week, we're just gonna go over some others just real quick. Let's see. Yes, Miss Darlene. What could we say about Miss Darlene? I mean, just
Say it to
No
my
word
face,
can
behind
express.
my back. What are you saying behind my back?
I know. What can we say? Whisper, whisper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, who's
darling.
keeping me on task? You two. You two, Chris. Everyone from the CJ family keeps me on task, so I appreciate it.
All right. So, darling, we appreciate you and all the work that you do. And obviously for your tireless dedication and effort, we honor and salute you. And Kim as well. So obviously we got to give you a good hand clap. All right. And so we're just going to briefly go through the others and wrap it up. Shout out to our good brother Chris Lawson, also received Advocate of the Year. He also as well showed up at the Capitol and in people's offices all throughout, this process. So he's done a lot of work. And even though that clip went viral, I mean, people really don't know how much time he sacrificed for free to do this work. So, we definitely got to give, some appreciation to our good brother Chris. And we got our good sister Camila Moore, who is the chair of the California Reparations Task Force, Reparatory Justice Scholar of the Year. Journalist of the Year, Antonio Harvey. We played the clip a little bit earlier where he did question the California governor about those two particular reparations bills that did not go to the floor. So shout out to our good brother, Antonio Harvey. Reggie Romaine in the building. I told myself I was going to update this slide, but unfortunately I didn't. So originally it was Spirit of the Year, but it ended up being Inspirationalist of the Year. So we got Inspirationalist of the Year. So I guess technically he got 2 recognitions award, Spirit and Inspirationalist. But yeah, shout out to our good brother Reggie Romaine. He's definitely inspiration to everybody. So shout out to you. Tiffany Quarles, what can we say about Tiffany? Does a lot of things behind the scenes. Much appreciate her and all the Leap family down there in Southern California. So shout out to our good sister, Tiffany Quarles, who receives Organizer of the Year. And then we have our good sister, Raphael H. Plunkett. Can't say enough about her. Once again, we do have, I don't know when we're going to start the readings up for the California Reparations Task Force report, but Raphael, once again, she stepped up when we needed another volunteer to read some of the chapters that were, nobody signed up for. She just stepped up and said, hey, I'll read it. And plus, it's hard to match such a beautiful voice like Raphael's. You just want to sit there and just listen to it all day. So, shout out to Raphael, because not only does she have a wonderful reading voice, but, she's been a great person to help out in this movement. So shout out to Raphael. All right. So as in tradition, let's go through some of these comments, family, and then we will wrap it up and let everybody get back to their wonderful Sunday. All right. Let me just put up this other slide real quick. All right. So shout out to Claire64. Thank you for coming through. Live in San Fernando Valley. Are the assembly persons out here supporting these bills? I want to get more involved in San Fernando Valley. So I don't know exactly which district you're in. So once again, let me remove that. Go to find your California state reps so you can find that information. And once again, definitely subscribe here on this channel and go to cjec-official.org and sign up for that newsletter.
And also, Umoya, remember that she can sign up for the new volunteer meeting on Zoom on 9/11.
Absolutely.
You showed that slide.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that again. All right, somebody said, question, lawsuit. Might be.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe. What up, Queen Yasmin? How you doing? EPA for reparations.
All the way out of pocket.
All the way out of pocket. Hey, family. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to you as well. Easy Acts, appreciate you for always showing up and ready to be educated and take action. So we appreciate you. All right, so today, what are we discussing today? Well, today we are discussing what we feel is a betrayal of the Black American descendant community by the California Legislative Black Caucus. So that's what we are discussing. Alrighty. What's up, Tim and ETMM? Yes, we all need clarity on how this. Okay. All right. I may have missed this part, but did the governor ask/tell the CLBC to not present the bills under threat of veto? Well, according to what he said, I mean, we don't really know that, so we can speculate that. But
it's neither here nor there, anyways, because that's his job. I mean, the CLBC should not be providing cover for him and not advancing bills to the floor so he doesn't have to do his job. I mean, they should have still advanced the bills. Like I said, check out the Senator Bradford Roland Martin interview. He describes a couple of bills that were in similar situations that still advanced to floor vote and then to the governor's desk and were ultimately signed. So no excuse.
And one of them being Senator Bradford's cannabis bill.
That he did say one of them was his cannabis bill.
Yes.
And then another bill, they made a big deal about it. Not only he said did he signed it on the LeBron James shoulder. Right. Yeah. So even if there is a threat of veto, you still push, if you're a reputable representative doing the work for the people, you still push those bills forward and then, let the chips fall where they may after that.
So to answer that question, we really don't know. There's been so much back and forth and backstabbing and lying.
Right. But if you listen to the governor's press release comment, he said that he didn't speak to anyone directly being the key word, in my opinion. And someone else made a real good point too. They were like, oh, even if you didn't speak to them directly, I mean, what indication are they supposed to take from the fact that you basically gutted the bill from an agency to a 2-week study? I mean, wouldn't that, tell you, if we don't take these amendments, it might get vetoed. But like I said, that's neither here nor there. If you veto it, you veto it.
Yeah, and since it was Senator Bradford's bills, shout out to him, 10 toes down, he refused the amendments. So, and here we are today.
Okay. I think this comment was already mentioned earlier, so shout out to Danger Boy Hits. Appreciate you for coming through. Unfortunately, we can't find the YouTube channel for the Leap Official, but I think we do have a link to a Leap YouTube somewhere, at least at minimum. Kim, darling.
Well, the one that just says Leap is not live anymore. It has to be the Leap Official. That's why the issues.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll see if we can do more research on the actual Leap Official, and then we'll post it back into the description of the YouTube video later. All right. Hello from Denver. Well, thank you for joining, Jesse. It says still watching what's happening in California at Amend Mass Media Group. Well, if you're just joining or you haven't been, go back, hit the replay, and so basically we've been giving updates as we go along. So, all right. Oops, Bradford for governor. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
You did say that.
What'd you say?
You did say that.
I did say that. So
you did say that. Yes.
Hopefully, Stephen Bradford would, go for it. But if not, hey, we'll support him in lieutenant governor. Thank you, Queen Yasmin. We appreciate you. Alrighty. When the assembly members are committed to presenting a bill to the floor, what does that actually mean? If they don't follow through on their commitment, what are the consequences, if there are any? That is a great question.
Yeah. One of the consequences that you have, your constituents very unhappy and willing to vote against you because you didn't do your job.
Yeah, and to be honest, I just don't, and don't quote me here, but I just don't. I mean, usually when people are assigned to bills, they usually just present them. I don't know if this is like the only time in history. I'm sure it's not, but it was just odd that eventually these bills got a jockey, and then it was just like, no, not gonna present
Not
it.
gonna do it. Yeah. No. So I mean, when you don't, I mean, it's been a long time since I worked a 9 to 5, but when you're on that 9 to 5, when you don't do something, you get written up. You know what I'm saying? There is always
it's
consequences.
weird.
You have a choice, but you do have to live with the choice you made and the consequence that follows.
That was absolutely strange. Okay, Grateful says next step to file lawsuits, excuse me, against the trillion-dollar corporations that profited off of slavery, the banks, insurance companies, and ship owners, cotton companies. It's a no-brainer. Okay, I mean that's a possibility. I mean, definitely our government was a huge component in slavery. So, I think we definitely should start with the government first. But yeah, obviously the corporations themselves were heavily involved. All right. Gain ground with Tamaya. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Great show, everyone. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you for showing up. So shout out to Gain Ground with Tamaya. All right. Thank you all for the work that you do. California strong. Thank you, Claire, for showing up. Thank you. Without you and everybody is support with this reparations out here in California and across the nation, right? I mean, this is what we do. This isn't, this isn't just about California. This is actually literally about, the whole nation. So, and as I've probably stated before, I recommend that, take action wherever you're at in your own state, right? You can do this. You can kind of take what we've done out here in California and then apply it to what's going on into your state. All right, a couple more here. Curious Child, thank you for joining. FO, maybe it's FOR, but I don't know. FO, all caucuses have a non-community member, ? I noticed there's a white male on the black caucus. Okay, I don't know if you're trying to be funny, but we're gonna.
No, it's questionable. We she says
Kevin McCarty is black. So
says he's black. So,
come on, fam.
Right, come on now. But we don't know that. Just on the outside looking in, I don't know if that's true. I mean, we know it's true. But
I heard him say it for himself when we were at the press conference that he was black. I was surprised too. But yeah, it appears he has black heritage and lineage.
I mean, my niece looks just like him, so I mean, and I know she's black, so I'm just saying, it's a possibility, I mean, but anybody just looking at him, of course, it's a question. I think it's a fair one.
So we have another question by Gain Ground with Tamaya. It says, can assembly members or member or senator be forced to step down for misrepresentation? That's a great question, Tamaya. That's a great question. Now, I know that we obviously do have recall protocol here in the government. So can it apply to state assembly or senators? That is a great question, and we need to look into that. See, that's why we have these shows, because we don't know everything, right? So when people ask these questions, we can also do our further research. So I know there's protocol, at the governor level and some other higher executive levels, but in terms of like senators and assembly, we definitely need to look into that. So for sure, thank you for that question. All right. Let's see. We'll just get two more and then we'll wrap up here. Okay. Also, I may have missed it. What is the consequence for someone other than the author of a bill moving it to being enacted? Was that asked earlier or no? I don't know.
No. Just you're reading it for the first time.
Okay. What is the consequence for someone other than the author? Okay, so I think Curious Child is referring to SB 1331 and SB 1403 that was supposedly moved to inactive, and we yet don't have any clarity of exactly what happened, but it was moved to inactive, and supposedly Senator Bradford, who is the author of those bills, didn't move those to inactive status. So the question is, who moved those to inactive status if, according to the rules, the author, him or herself, is supposed to move them to inactive status? So that's the big question.
A mystery. Quite a mystery.
I am also curious child.
Quite a mystery. Mm-hmm.
So yes, we need to do some digging on that, or find somebody who can help us look.
But do you guys believe that all this is going to come out in the wash, and we're eventually going to find out? I know it's a little bit too late, but it still could be used as ammunition.
Right.
Okay. Again, Ground Command says Kevin McCarty's dad is in fact black. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. He looks just like my niece, but I still say it's a fair question. All
right.
So I know my niece is black, so.
All right. What if we have this scenario happen again? Assembly members don't present committed bills. We need a bill/law passed with effective consequences for their betrayal, not following what voters ask. I don't know, Kim, Darlene, do you have any comments on that one?
It should be, but the thing of it is that it happens all the time. So we've been told, but I think what's the difference that, number one, these were historic bills. They led us to believe that they were going to come up. That's really where the betrayal started, because they had two floor managers or floor jockeys, whatever you want to call them, and they simply just not doing their call. Stems back, did the CLC get to bump heads and say no, or did they really get that threat from Newsom? You know what I'm saying? So, those questions are still having to be answered. But can it happen again? I'm sure, but it happened this time for sure. We just have to, and I don't know personally what all the advocates and the activists could have done differently. I mean, we did our due diligence. We were there, through all the Senate committee hearings, through all the Assembly committee hearings, doing Me Too. I mean, we were just there. We did our part. They just did not do theirs.
I mean, I do think that there should be some kind of protocol for this. If the author feels that they have the votes to advance to the floor, but the jockeys are refusing to do it, I don't know. Maybe just present the bills without a jockey. Just put them up there for vote without anybody saying anything about it. I don't know, but I do think something needs to happen here.
And for those who don't know, each assembly member, each senator, when they present these bills, and it's a lot of times it's their director of legislative body who works in with that assembly member or senator. They do what they do vote count. So they basically know if those bills are going to go through. And like I said, if it was going to die, it should have died in appropriation suspense. Should have died there, but it didn't.
Right. I mean, but maybe, like a process. I mean, if the author is adamant that they have the votes, they want their vote heard. I mean, like, for instance, Darlene, when we're in the committee hearings and they're like, oh, the author, is not going to present, but we're still voting, something like that.
Yes. But those were in committees now. That's still a little different. So, and the fact that it was Senator Bradford, he could not present his own bill or even bring it up to the floor because it was in assembly.
Yeah.
That's why you get a floor jock, a floor manager, and they simply just did not do their job.
Correct.
Point.
Absolutely. All right. So we are going to wrap up. I know there's some notes that I took for today. So on our next program, may it be recorded or live, we'll go ahead and update everyone on that. And there's two more things, comments. I thought it was a white member on CBC. Okay. Assuming you're talking about Kevin McCarty. Curious Child, once again, I never knew he was black. I was not trying to be funny. I'm watching without my glasses. He looked white.
It's a fair question.
No,
everybody thought he was white. Curious.
yeah, I mean, look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a valid question, definitely. We just be getting trolls on
Right,
here,
but
so
these are some of
we
the things,
appreciate
we're going to uncover when we start checking lineage, which is why the COPPA office was so important.
Exactly.
And like I said, he looked just like my niece. My niece probably is lighter, but I know for a fact he's black. You know what I'm saying? We had that. Remember the interview you did with Raphael? And she said, I get tired of people saying that because every family member, some of us have people who look like that in them. Stop.
Right.
We do.
Yeah, that's why
but
lineage
it's
is so
still a fair question.
It's a fair question. No, it really is a fair question. I mean, I wonder if you can be on the CLBC if you're not black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And even
if you're down for the causes,
Yeah, even Mia Bonta is mixed. I'm not 100% sure what she is, but she's mixed with Afro Latino or something. I don't know.
Right.
She's not. I don't think she's direct lineage, but I mean, I don't know. Let me just put that out there. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just wondering if a straight up white person could be on it. Like, for instance, Ennis, could he replace Lori Wilson if he was like, yeah, I'm down for these causes. I want to be on it.
I don't know. I mean, the Black Caucus. I mean, not just saying the Asian or the Hispanic Caucus. Is somebody else on there? That's not of Asian or Hispanic lineage. I mean, I don't know. I mean, those are questions we just have to ask. We just don't know.
As we continue this research,
Yeah.
All right, family. So let's once again, you can go check out EP4A tonight. Go and register. Do a volunteer meeting this Wednesday, upcoming Wednesday. Yep. And then we have 2 community town halls that are coming up. So definitely check those out here in Sacramento and also down in Southern California in Temecula. So, family, this is actually our 25th. Can you believe, Kim and Darlene, this is our 25th episode.
A Road to Reparations.
And it's going to continue. I didn't know if it was going to discontinue. Yeah. On August 31st, I thought, we might somewhat wrap it up then, but I don't
rename it. Yeah.
Rename it to this, but
Yeah.
This is our 25th. It looks like there's going to be a lot more. So, family, please like, share, and subscribe. Keep the questions coming. Keep educated. Keep informed. And Kim and Darlene, if there's nothing else, I'll say what my usual saying is at the end.
No, just, keep up the good fight. It's not the end, it's the beginning. And, we got to hold these people accountable.
And then I want to just say also, there's one other comment, Umoya, from at Claire64, which I found enlightening, which is true. If you could grab that one, the very end at the 3:48 mark.
3:48
p.m. mark on the time.
Here goes the very last one.
Yeah. And some of us don't code switch. Right. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, we're there. We're all, we're all here together. I just wanted to personally shout out to, of course, my partners, Kim and Umora. I finally feel like I am a partner with them. I'm so appreciative of you two so much. But also I want to have a challenge to anyone that's in the Fairfield Sassoon area. Please sign up real quick. If you could post the new volunteer session that will be held on 9/11. I just want to challenge anyone that's out there in the Fairfield Sassoon with me. I really want to get this area targeted. I've worked a lot with the East Bay folks, and I've worked a lot with Sacramento folks, but I need to concentrate on home and get this going over here. So I appreciate anyone that shows up that's in this area, Fairfield Sassoon area. Fairfield Sassoon.
All right, Kim?
I just said we got to hold our legislator and politicians accountable for, betrayal. So, I hope people take this seriously and really do the due diligence and, research on other candidates and opponents.
Okay.
And yeah.
Thank you very much, Darlene and Kim. And one last question. Do you have to live in East Palo Alto to attend the one tonight? Actually, once again, go to reparationsforepa@gmail.com to get more information on that. So it is an online event. So you can go there at reparationsforepa@gmail.com to get more information. All right, what a great show, family.
Great
today.
show. Great show.
Well, as a matter
Just
of fact,
to think, I wasn't gonna come on.
I know,
shouldn't be telling you that. I shouldn't be saying that to you. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Exactly. So,
Kim always has my arm in a sling. She breaks every time.
You called me before the show.
Yeah, because I wasn't able to join the
I was like, I ain't even gonna press her. And then you called me.
I did. Thank you guys so much. I just the way I feel about you cannot be spoken in words. You know how I feel. So
yes,
so let's give
a family affair.
So let's give a big fire to the show for everybody. So thanks once again for coming out, family. We're going to be playing a clip as we go out for when this bill actually did pass the Senate floor as it was going to the Assembly. So we did actually still make history, family. This bill actually did pass one of the floors, right? So next year is going to pass both floors and the governor is going to sign off on it. So
we made all types of history, a line item in the budget for reparations. That's never happened before. So we're pushing.
Absolutely, fam. All right. No, appreciate y'all. And on that note, we will see y'all again. Be safe for you and your loved ones and your family. And on that note, y'all, peace and
lineage-based reparations.
Lineage.
State agencies and departments tasked with direct implementation of reparations policies.
On a vote of 30-7, the measure passes.
To this very day. I've had the privilege of serving again in the legislature for the last 14 years, and we have voted on dozens of bills about wage theft.
No. On a vote of 29-8, the measure passes.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill is a priority of the California Legislative Black Caucus. SB 1050 creates a pathway for restitution to Californians who had their land or property taken by the state or local governments by racially motivated reasons and no other reason.
Dowd. Aye. Grove. Ochobo.
On a vote of 32-5, the